Get ready with me as I tell you a story about calling the cops on my host while living in England. For context, I've been living in England for a month now, but that sublet ended 2 days ago, and I moved into this new one. The woman is fantastic, super nice, picked me up from the train station, made sure I had everything I needed. So when I came here on Friday, she actually left to go to her partner's house and told me that she wasn't going to be back until today, Sunday. I'm totally fine with this, right? I'm an adult. I know how to live on my own, pretty competent, and no big deal. So last night when I was sleeping, I could hear some noise, and there are other houses right next to us, and I'm like, oh, maybe it's just the neighbors. And I let it go on, and then it gets louder. And I'm like, oh my God, that's not the neighbors. Someone's in the house. More context, before she left on Friday, she told me that there was an attempted break-in at a different house in the same neighborhood a few days ago. So that is running through my mind as I'm hearing what sounds like someone rummaging through drawers downstairs and turning the lights on. I normally wouldn't panic like that. I probably would have just been like, oh, she came home early. However, knowing about the previous potential break-in, my first thoughts went to, Jenny, you idiot, you forgot to lock the door and someone just broke into the house and you are alone in a foreign country. So I panic immediately and I grab my phone and I look up the emergency number of 911 equivalent in the UK. I type that in and it gets denied because I have airplane mode on. And I type it in again, denied. And at this point, I just say, screw the data charge. I need to get off airplane mode and call 911. I'm finally able to get a hold of 911, and at this point, my adrenaline is through the freaking roof. I have never been more scared in my entire life. The operator was amazing, super calming, talking to me. She asked me for my area code or zip code, and I'm just like, I don't know where I am. I don't know anything. So I'm pulling up the messages, trying to find my address, give it to the operator. She's like, the police officers are on their way. While I'm waiting for the police to arrive, the operator stays on the phone with me, just talking to me and asking me questions like, do you hear voices? Do you think that there's more than one person? Have they come upstairs? Is there a lock on your door? I'm crying, shaking, I feel like I'm gonna throw up, and I'm just like, there's not a lock on my door. There's a lock on the bathroom door, but there's no way in hell that I am opening this door right now if someone else is in the house. There's no way. So for 10 minutes, while I was waiting for the police to come and talking to the operator, I was pressed up against that door, just thinking about what do I do if they come up here? I was preparing to fight for my life. My army training, my Brazilian jiu-jitsu, all of it was just kind of coming to the forefront of my mind, being I need to prepare because I am about to literally, I thought that I was gonna have to fight. I don't know what they had. I know there's not a lot of guns here, but I'm like, what if they had a knife? I have my freaking Yeti, smack them upside the head. I was thinking of that. I was preparing. All the while, I am debating, texting my wife, being like, hey, just so you know, I think someone just broke into the place I'm staying at. And I had to call 911. I didn't because I didn't want to worry her, especially with what if someone had broken in and I text her and then it escalates, but I'm not able to respond. There's no way she can get a hold of me. No need to make her panic because I'm already panicking. Finally, the cops get here. And I am talking to the operator still. And she's like, okay, the cops should be there. Can you hear them? And I'm like, I think I saw the lights outside of my window. And I can hear downstairs the police dog that they brought just going absolutely feral. That thing was also ready to attack, just like I was. And I hear the barking, and I'm like, okay, the police are here. And then, of all the voices that I hear next, it's the woman who I'm renting from. I open the door, and I call out her name, and she's like, Jenny? And I'm like, oh my God, still on the phone with the operator. And I'm like, I think it's just the woman who lives here. And I run downstairs and she's like, what's going on? As the police are at her door with a attack dog ready to get after this burglar. And I'm like, oh my God, like trying to tell the operator, like, there's no intruder. And I'm trying to tell like the woman I'm renting from, like, I called the police on you. She's like, what? And then we're like opening the door for the police, and the dog is like right there, just like, rah, rah, rah. And then we're like, I'm the one who called. It was a mistake. It was an accident. And so the guy with the dog, he like puts the dog back, and then there's other officers there. One was a female, and this other guy. And they open the door and they're like, is everything cool here? And I'm like, yes, like, I'm the one who called. I thought someone broke in. It's the owner. She wasn't supposed to get back till tomorrow. And then we explain the whole thing, and they're like triple checking. They're like looking at me. They're like, ma'am, are you okay? And I was like, yes, I am okay. So the police finally leave, and then I'm like still crying and like shaking from all of the adrenaline, still feeling like I am going to throw up. And this poor woman that I'm renting from, she's like, I am so sorry. She's like, I should have texted you, let you know that I'm coming home early. And she's like, in hindsight, like, of course you would think that someone's breaking in, and I gaslit myself into thinking that I didn't lock the door, and that's how they got in. No, she got in because she has a key. Oh my God, I just couldn't stop laughing. I get upstairs, I immediately FaceTime Zoe, and she's like, oh, like, can you not sleep? And I'm like, babe, I have a story for you. Yeah, that's the story of why I called the police on my host in England.